Hey everyone, I am in Coburn, Pennsylvania. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what county this is, but I'm with Tony. We are going to check out the old abandoned Coburn Tunnel. So before we get to that, Tony, what road is this? Do you know?
I think it's Tunnel Road.
I believe it's called Tunnel Road, and we are along the Penns Creek. Beautiful area, right? And before we go into the tunnel, which I believe is down this way, I just wanted to check out these rocks. Check out this rock formation. Beautiful. So as we're walking along here, Tony pointed out all this loose rock that we see. Is it possible that that is what they pulled out of the tunnel? Maybe, right? I mean, it would kind of make sense because we're not far from the tunnel, and we are not far from the tunnel at all. As we're walking around, look at that. Tony's taking pictures of flowers. Spring, my friends. It's been a long, cold, gray winter. So I am very excited to see some flowers starting to bloom. So I believe if we just continue down this road a bit, when we come to this curb, the tunnel will be on our left-hand side. I can't resist just taking a nice look at this creek. I don't believe I've ever been in this area before, but Penns Creek is kind of beautiful. So as we approach the tunnel, which is nestled along Penns Creek, we just took a look at Penns Creek, and from what I was reading, it is a relic of the region's railroad heritage. So this was a railroad tunnel at one time. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Okay, so different than some of the tunnels I've been through recently. This one, you can obviously see the other side. So it's not a very long tunnel, but I'm loving the look of it. So there appears to be parking on the other side. Me and Tony were talking about whether we could get to the other side or not, because I believe we might find some relics of the old railroad tracks over there. Not sure, but we'll see. But I love how this is just cut out of the rock. There's no, what am I trying to say, Tony? There's no, what? Like man-made structure, right? I mean, it's just basically cut out of the rock. Little wet. Wow, it's really cool in here. So in the summertime, this would be quite refreshing. So today, I'm gonna say it's probably like 75 degrees right now. You can't ask for a better day. Just look at that old rock.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this, as late as 1970, trains went through here.
Yeah, from what Tony was saying, as late as 1970, trains were still running through this tunnel. It was built by the Lewisburg Center and Spruce Creek Railroad. Construction began in 1868. 1868. So, Tony, when were the railroads? Here I go asking Tony again. I'm kind of thinking, right? The early railroads were maybe the 1840s at the earliest, 1830s. I guess by the 1860s, the railroads were.
Yeah,
they were taking over as the main way of transporting goods. I guess from the canals, right? Before that, they would move everything by river. So as you can see, it is wet, but I'm pretty much able to just go from stone to stone, rock to rock, I should say. But you should definitely have a flashlight, even though you can make it through here without a flashlight. But a lot of this would be a trip hazard. So this rock right here probably fell from right up here. Check that out. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it's coming out on camera. Hopefully it is, but it looks like it goes up about 6 feet. So a lot of rock fell from that spot right there. Little bit of graffiti there, but not a lot. I'm kind of liking that. Oh, and then I shine over here and we have some graffiti, but still not a lot. I definitely like the fact that it is just the natural rock. And I should definitely pay attention to where I'm going because, oh God. Water's getting a little deeper here. Okay, so as you can see, as we are exiting the tunnel, we have stonework here, which is interesting because the other side, there's no stonework. It's just natural rock. It's just dug out that way. This water's deep, so I'm not sure how Tony got through it. Trying to figure out a way to get through this without getting soaked. All right, I think I figured out the best route right here along the side of the wall, but while I'm here, let's take a close look at this stonework. Beautiful. You know, I never really thought about things like this years ago, but as someone pointed out in one of the comments, a lot of these old structures, there's no mortar. It's just the stones are cut so perfectly that everything stays in place. And I think that's pretty amazing. I mean, like right here, this stone rock wall, whatever you want to call it, I get it. But then to create an arch without any mortar, and for it to still be here 100 years later, $150 years later. A lot of water dripping down. But I want to get a better view. So cool. I don't see a date stamp on this, but see the keystone? And like I said, there's no mortar used to build this. Pretty amazing. All right, so I made my way through the tunnel. As you can see, there's a lot of people parked here. So there's a lot of people out here today. As I mentioned earlier, it's like 75, 76 degrees. It's beautiful. But I was talking to a woman and her husband, and they were telling me there's another tunnel. Now I forget what it was called. It might have been Cherry Run Tunnel. So we might see another tunnel in this adventure. But one of the problems when there's a whole lot of people here, it makes it hard to video. Because I wind up talking to people, or I feel just kind of stupid talking to my camera. But they were really nice. So the car is parked on the other side of the tunnel. So we are going to walk through it again, and I'll give you a few more facts. So this is cool, though. By the way, I have no idea where Tony went. Tony kind of like, sometimes I'll just stay and sometimes I'll just stop and talk to somebody. So Tony kind of then just goes off and does his own thing. Oh, I think I see him down there taking pictures. So this, my friends, is an old rail bridge. All right, so I just put my flashlight away. We don't need that here, but this is an old railway bridge. And as you can see, the ties are still in place. A couple replacements here, but kind of cool, right? And there's Tony. So this is a, I guess, rail to trail. So I am going to head down here, try to get a look at what this looks like from below. Oh God, not easy getting down here. Okay, again, some beautiful stonework. As I was mentioning when I was inside the tunnel, to me there's no mortar. It's just perfectly cut stone. So correct me if I'm wrong about that. Wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong. But here's a nice look at this old train bridge. So I believe I am wrong. There seems to be some mortar in between these cut stones. Love this old history. So now I'm back up on the bridge, headed back towards the tunnel. But the origins of this railroad, built by the Lewisburg Center and Spruce Creek Railroad, and construction started in 1868. I believe eventually it went all the way to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. But the tunnel, the work on the Coburn Tunnel started in 1872, and it was completed in 1876. And there is a second tunnel through Paddy Mountain, and that's a 320 feet long, and that was finished the same year. I believe that tunnel is all the way down this way, but I'm not sure how easy it is to get to it. And that's probably the tunnel that I mentioned earlier. I was talking to, I guess, a local, and her husband mentioned that there was another tunnel that you can get to from here. So not sure if we're going to be going there today, but I can always do some research and come back. And it's getting warm now. It feels like it's almost 80 degrees. But what I'm not gonna do is complain about the heat. I've been complaining all winter about the cold. Actually, this weather is perfect. It's pretty much exactly what I love. And it's great for days like this where we're kind of like checking out old ruins because you can still see everything and it's warm. Tony, right here is where I feel, it feels like an air conditioner. So it's very strange how the wind comes out of that tunnel and hits me all the way back here. I mean, I'm like, what, 70 yards away. So I do want to check out this tunnel again because I was talking, maybe the same people you were talking to. A woman came in with her husband and we were talking, so I wasn't doing any videoing.
He was nice.
He was very nice. She was nice too. They were both nice, Tony. We like nice people. And you know what? I'm finding, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm getting philosophical again, but most people in this world are pretty nice. And you wouldn't know that if you just watch the news or, you know, from what you see on television. But most people are nice. People are pretty much people, right, Tony? We say this all the time.
Yeah.
So, Tony, what I was saying earlier, and I was saying it about underneath that bridge we just walked over, I said that they didn't use mortar in between the rocks.
Right.
This definitely looks like they do not.
Right.
But when I got closer under the bridge, I did see mortar. But here, well, I would say no, but maybe, Tony, maybe they did up on this top portion to make that curvature. No, I don't mean that, but see where the keystone is?
Yeah.
And see the curvature?
Yeah.
Did they put mortar in between those rocks,
Yeah,
do you think?
It was a little shy.
Maybe.
Or maybe it wore out. I don't know.
Maybe, maybe not. So why would they put the concrete on top? Just to reinforce everything?
It might have been, like some of them might have fell off over the years. And just, because like I said, this...
So they were still using this tunnel up until 1970, I believe. Up until 1972, well, up until 1972, there was a rail station in Coburn. And they don't, and that was destroyed in, it had something to do with Hurricane Agnes.
Right.
So, God, everything was destroyed in 1972. I can't tell you how many times I read that when I come to these places. But, so I don't know, maybe the train came through here up until 1972, but certainly till at least 1970.
Right.
Which is kind of hard to believe when you look at this tunnel.
Did you say when this was built?
I did. It was built in, as I go back to my notes, the Coburn Tunnel was started in 1872, completed in 1876.
So it was almost 100 years. So they probably had to fix stuff over the last 50
Correct.
years of it, maybe.
Now, the passenger service ended in 1949, as we've mentioned in some of our other videos, due to the advent of most people having an automobile. But there were passenger trains that came through here up until 1949, and Tony's getting wet.
Well, there's no real clear on that.
I put my flashlight away. Will this still, you think, walking through here without the flashlight? You can still see a lot. It's pretty...
I don't know, it's pretty dark in the middle.
Yeah, well, I'll get my flashlight out if I have to. But there's something kind of cool about looking at it in the dark, too, right?
Yeah, I just like to see what.
Just a nice view.
Here where you could, here you could have pulled over. Yeah, what's crazy?
Yeah, what do we call them? Not duckouts, but there is a name for something like a cutout. But that's kind of like a natural cutout. But no, there really are no cutouts in this. So the chances of getting caught in here are probably pretty slim because it's not a long tunnel. Oh my gosh, did I just find what I think I found?
What?
That's a piece of a spike. A rail spike. Yeah. It's broken though, but yeah, that's rusted out piece of a rail spike, I believe.
I don't care what you see these things on this. It's a lot cooler to come and see yourself. And
It's always more interesting to see something in real time. That said, please watch my video.
You just can't imagine them. Like, it's like, it's weird thinking of trains coming through here.
It
cut
is.
out so roughly.
And there's no ventilation, but I guess that's because the tunnel's not all that long. Tony, I didn't research how long this tunnel is, so I'll have to put a note on the bottom of the video, but how long do you think this is?
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Not gonna guess.
We're usually wrong. We're usually wrong.
I'm gonna say like maybe 300 yards. Is that a silly number?
Oh no, 100 yards. That's like the size of a football field.
You think this is only about the size of a football
Well,
field?
it doesn't look longer than that to me, but
All right, so
I could be wrong.
300 yards might be. You know what? I'm gonna go with 220 yards. Because a football field always looks longer than it actually is when you're watching it on TV.
I guess last time
Tony was just saying he's almost as impressed with the cutout rock as the actual stonework. And yeah, I mean, right? 1870s we said, so
Yeah.
how many people did it take to dig this out, right? All manual labor? Manual labor, I would think, right? I mean, I guess they use dynamite.
yeah.
Dynamite, and then, yeah.
And then I think that was kind of the advent of
This rock's cracked right down the middle, which tells me it probably
fell.
I don't know, it doesn't look like there's a missing rock there. There is a portion, like in the middle, where it looks like there's a huge portion that fell.
Yeah. But it's like that's kind of the advent of the steam age.
Yep.
So they might have had like steam cars and like shovels, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, they
There
might
it
have put
is.
rocks,
Look
'cause
at
these are
that.
put here.
So you're saying that's mountain laurel up there?
I guess, like I
Or
said, I can't look
rhododendron.
at, these are fossils, I think.
Are these fossils?
They look like it's fossils.
You know what? Maybe it's tools that were breaking the rock.
Oh, yeah, but those almost look like
I don't know.
shells.
Hi.
It might be chips.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
It might be chips off of there.
I don't know. Loving this tunnel. And with that, I think I'm going to end my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you could give it a like, that would be awesome. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and you have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.